Okay, let's take a much closer look at the Denali trousers and the fabric options available on the Denali trousers, particularly looking at the waterproof qualities of the options and what that means and why you would choose the fabric that you do choose us to use to build the trousers. First of all, let's just reference to the Denali trousers, the standard fabric, which is Ultrashell. Ultrashell is a very, very lightweight fabric, but it's also got water resistant qualities. So there's two proofings on Ultrashell. There's the inner proofing, the underproofing on the side of the fabric that we can't see, and that's a PU spray-on coating, and it gives water resistance to the fabric and also breathability. And what's clever about that proofing is permanence. It's actually on the underside, you can't see it, the down is touching it, and the down is actually touching that proofing, and down is obviously very, very unabrasive, if that's a good word. It doesn't give a real abrasion problem to that proofing, so the proofing is permanent and will last the lifetime of the garment. The outer layer of Ultrashell has a DWR coating, and the DWR coating is what gives you that beading effect when you get water onto it or condensation onto the Ultrashell. If you get water there, it beads and then runs off. So it's got that waterproof element, which is absolutely perfect for situations where you've got condensation coming from the inside of the tent, or even just a spill of water, or if you knock your cup of tea over or something silly in the tent. If it gets onto Ultrashell, it really isn't a problem, it'll shake it off. What Ultrashell can't do is give protection in heavy rain. It's not because the fabric isn't proofed, it's got a very good proofing, but it's because of the construction techniques of the trousers, the Denali trousers here. You can see they're a box wall construction, and the panels there are stitched underneath the fabric there. We've stitched in box walls, and where that stitch line is, we've created tiny little needle holes, and eventually in wet weather the water would get through, because it would go through the holes that have been created there, and it would actually soak in through the cotton thread that was used to stitch the garment together. So it can't be used in real wet. Now, that isn't normally a problem. The Denali is designed for high altitude mountaineering, -30, -40. It doesn't rain, it's very dry, but there's still potential to have condensation drips when the sun comes up and frost on the inside of a tent starts to melt and so on. Now, if you need a much more protected piece of equipment, then we can have a look at the Denali trousers that are made in Dry-LX fabric, and the Dry-LX is used to create a waterproof shell over the Denali trousers. Dry-LX is a two-layer laminate fabric. It's got one layer. The outer layer is the nylon fabric that you can see, and underneath it, bonded to it, is a membrane, a waterproof, breathable membrane. That's the clever bit. It prevents water getting through it. Water can't get through it, but water vapor can get through it. So it's breathable, but it's waterproof. And the key thing with Dry-LX is it's tapeable. We can actually bond the seams. We can so all the construction seams that we've put in can then be seam sealed with tape to prevent water getting through. The fabric is the same as Ultrashell in that it also has a DWR coating on the outer, so if you get water on it, it will bead and run off. The truth is that DWR coatings are short-lived, they don't last for very long, but the proofing underneath the fabric is permanent and will last the lifetime of the kit. So it's a very smart piece of technology. So, if you choose to have the Denali trousers made in Dry-LX, we make it as a shelled version, fully proofed, and that is of particular interest in more serious conditions where water can be troublesome. For instance, if you were a film crew going out into the mountains or out into the world, something like the Arctic tundra, for instance, where you may be filming in very nasty, gnarly conditions, both very cold, low temperatures, but equally you can get warmer times where temperature lifts a little bit and you get wet snow and sleet. And you don't want that to damage the gear and wet out your down equipment. You really need to protect your down equipment. So in those sorts of scenarios, the fully shelled version of the Denali Trousers is worth consideration. You can see they're the same very lightweight piece of equipment, very simple, but there's a couple of changes here. Of course, it's shelled, everything's taped, even the seams on the knees and on the front and the back and so on, they're all taped. But here now with these trousers, on the original, you may recall, we've got side zips for easy entry into the trousers, for easy control of the trousers and so on. But the side zips have an underbaffle, an insulated underbaffle. Now with the shelled version, we have an underbaffle and an overbaffle, and the overbaffle is waterproof Dry-Lex fabric, and it's there to protect the shell, protect the zip, from water getting through the zip there. It's got Velcro right down the side of it to place the overbaffle on top of the shell and prevent water getting in. So still a very, very lightweight piece of kit. Dry-Lex is so light, it's the lightest of our waterproof fabrics that are tapeable. We've got Dry-Lex HS2 and Tempest. Dry-Lex is the lightest tapeable 2-layer breathable laminate that we have, and so it gives us this ability to create very, very high quality, low weight kit, but to have it fully shelled for really gnarly conditions. Okay, cheers.